Morning, everybody. It is Monday, the 12th of February, 2018, 6:23 a.m. Central Standard Time, Earth. So, we got a video request from Jerome in North Kentucky. Thank you, Jerome. I deeply appreciate that because that means that there are actually people out there paying attention to these early morning ramblings that I give. Plus, I love doing this in the morning because my voice is super deep and I feel like that it makes me extra profound when I can speak 3 octaves lower than everybody else. So anyway, thank you, Jerome. I do appreciate that. So the question was, or the request was, I'm coming to your house. Everybody who's into preparedness has somebody in their life that's just, hey man, I'm coming to your house. When it all hits the fan, dude, I'm coming to your house. You know, or maybe it's your mom or your mother-in-law. Or, I know, sweetie, when it's okay. Me and Terry, the little doggy, will be there. It'll be fun. Like, no, it won't be fun. It might be exciting. I don't know about fun. But point being that there are lots of people that operate under the assumption that when it all goes bad, I'm just going to go to somebody else's house. So, I want to address that. I think it's a great topic because there's a lot of ambiguity there. Y'all may have noticed I'm not good at ambiguity. I despise gray area. In fact, it's one of the repeating comments that I get in my life from all kinds of people is just how clear-cut and black and white I am. Now, I'm always willing to change my mind about something if you can present a good argument as to why I should. But in the macro, on the big scale, it's all black and white, right? On the micro, it's all gray. Issues tend to skew maybe a little bit more black or a little bit more white. But on the micro, everything's a compromise. On the macro, nothing's a compromise. You should hold firm to your values, your convictions, your ethics, your morals. You should know who you are and why you are that way and what do you believe. Most people don't even have any idea what they believe. They just have this conglomeration of thoughts and feelings that somehow cobble together a belief structure for them, which I think is sad. But we're already 3 minutes in and I haven't talked about anything that I'm supposed to talk about yet, so I'll get to work here. Let's see, 60 miles an hour northbound on Preston Road, 289 North Texas. Here we go. I'm coming to your house. There are 2 different approaches here. A good friend of mine in the MAG, Mutual Assistance Group, is literally preparing for a whole bunch of people to come to his house. I am not. So, I think in your infancy in preparedness and survivalism, right, prepping, in your infancy, you need not to be one of those people that is going to have a bunch of people come to your house. And you need to realize that if you are going to go to somebody else's house, it's just like a party. You don't go to somebody else's house to have a party without bringing some bean dip, right, or something. Preferably some stuffed jalapenos, right, with some beef sausage in there and some cream cheese and some cheddar. Oh, dude, the bomb. Bring those. If the world ends, bring those to my house. We can be friends. So, in your infancy in preparedness, don't have people rally to your position because you don't have the gear that you're going to need to sustain yourself, let alone anybody else. And if you're going to go somewhere else, A, make sure they know you're coming. I mean, legitimately sit down and have a conversation about it. And B, understand what your responsibility is when you come there. Are you bringing water? Are you bringing food? Are you bringing firepower? Medical? Are you bringing knowledge and skills? Are you bringing books? and addendums full of information? Are you bringing animals? Are you bringing seeds? Are you bringing gardening experience? What do you bring to the table? So you need to sit down and actually discuss that with whoever's house you're going to. Where am I going to sleep? My buddy, for example, he has a fairly large house, and the way that he looks at it is, if things go bad, he and his family will coalesce into the master suite in his house. And that opens up several bedrooms, one bedroom for each family of the different families that are coming to his house. Now, there is a plus side here, right? The plus side is many hands make light work, and you've got a nice tight-knit tribe at your fingertips now. You can post security, you can have overwatch, you have people to watch the kids, you have food prep, you have laundry handled, you have planting handled, planting, seeding, harvesting, weeding. I mean, agrarian lifestyle is a lot of work. You can go out and forage. You have people, okay? But in your infancy as a prepper, don't be hosting anybody for the end of the world. And if you do go someplace else, understand what you need to bring, okay? And what is it going to look like when you get there? Where is your space when you get there? Do you need to bring a tent? Are you going to be living outside? What's the deal, right? In kind of the doldrums of preparedness, which I think most people have been in this a while, are in the doldrums, right? We're in the middle where we have a lot of stuff, comparatively speaking, but we don't have everything that we'd like to have. And prepping is a lifelong journey. You never have everything you want to have. You just get more stuff and bigger toys, I think. So if you're in the middle, right, phase 2 of preparedness, you might be able to host people, right, if you have the space. My buddy that's going to be hosting people, he's planning on hosting people. The amount of gear that he has is absurd. He's former military, and he has, he could put together probably a couple pallets of issued gear that he has, that he's since turned into, useful systems for additional people. Whether they're rucksacks with the, 5 C's of survival in them, combustion, cordage, container, cover, and cutting tool. That's a Dave Canterbury thing. Whether it's that or, multiple firearms and ammunition, gardening tools, he has redundancy, so he can afford to have a lot of people at his place because there's more than one shovel. There's not going to be one dude shoveling and 3 guys standing there watching him. I know it's not like a government works program anymore, or a union job where 4 dudes can stand around and dig one hole. All right, he has extra stuff, and he has a considerable amount of food. Considerable. Something to add to that, though, is, for example, I have not as much food as I would like to have, but more food than most. And I would say this, and I tell people this all the time: if you're coming to be with me and stay with me, you need to bring food. The water, I will figure out. I have water storage, water filtration, and water treatment, and I have ways to collect more water into my water storage system. Food is going to be a little bit more difficult. Firearms, I have enough. I'll just leave it. I don't like putting numbers on things. I'll leave it at that. I have enough. Not enough that I could stop buying them, because I love buying guns, because it's like, the bottom of the prepper food pyramid is guns. So I have food, but if you're going to come to my house, you need to bring your own food, because that's where I'm at. And that is understood with the people that may or may not be showing up at my house, that I look them dead in the eye, including my mother, okay? So part of this is having honest conversations with people. I look them dead in the eye and say, I love you. I want to help you. After this all goes away, all this decadence is gone, and it's just you and me, I'll be right there with you. but I'm not going to take a morsel of food out of my kid's mouth so that I can put it into yours. Mom. And that's a tough freaking conversation to have. But you need to have it because preparedness, as in the rest of life, is just managing expectations. The hardest part of living is people, right? And the hardest part of people is what we expect out of each other, and often that goes unsaid. We don't actually tell each other what we expect out of each other. We don't black and white. We don't draw hard lines in the sand and say, this is okay, this is not okay. So I do that with people now in my personal life, my business life, and especially with preparedness, because it could have literally deadly consequences, which I don't want, right? Special forces mindset, I suffer from it. You don't enter an engagement you can't win. If you can't win an engagement, you avoid it, right? So just you apply that same thing to preparedness. If there's no way to make this work, don't do it. Well, obviously there must be a way to make it work. Identify that way and do that. So, and then you have end stage preparedness, right? And that's when you have way more stuff than you're ever going to need. You bought a 160-acre ranch. The place is hardened. You have a bunker. You have vehicles. You have radios and EMP-proof Faraday cages. You've got a small arsenal. If the ATF ever found out about you, there would definitely be AH-64 TAC helicopters hovering over your position. Like, you're that guy, right? You're David Koresh without all the messed up doctrine and dogma, right? Yeah, just go with the comparison. You're that guy. If you're that guy, you can either A, have nobody come to visit you because you have a terrible personality, nobody wants to be around you, and you've just decided, no, it's me and mine and that's it. Or B, you can have a ton of people come be with you. And that's up to you, but it's preparedness for everybody. So whatever your situation is going to be, you need to be prepared. I would seriously avoid this though. People that have no skin in the game, okay? Your Aunt Millie from freaking Boca Raton, Florida, who's coming with her 2 rat terriers, if she's bringing nothing but drama and prescription medication for her anxiety, probably not a good idea. Sorry, Aunt Millie, it ain't gonna fly. All right, you don't need dead weight, and you don't need drama, so avoid those people at all costs. If they're not bringing anything, right? It's just like, remember, it's a party, right? You're throwing a Super Bowl party at your house. You're inviting everybody over. What are they bringing? If they're not bringing anything, they're not invited. And at the very least, what they bring needs to be able to cover for them. Now, there's certain types of people. If you can have, say, a trauma doc with ER experience, you know, most doctors have ER experience. They come up through the hospital system. That's where they start them, so they get used to all the blood and guts and screaming babies and belligerent people, right? And hardens them, gives them experience. But if you can find somebody like that who wants to be part of your team, and they don't have a lot of resources, then it's, you know what, it's, in my opinion, worth feeding that person because of the skills that they bring to the table. But if you have somebody who, you know, I don't know, has less useful skills in Teotihuacan, the end of the world as we know it, you know, if they were an HTML coder, that's probably going to be a little bit less useful if you're in a grid down environment. So should people come to your house when the world ends? That's entirely up to you. I would make sure that the people that are coming to your house, if they're coming, are people that you love. Not just people that you like, because like goes away real fast in a stressful environment. People that you love. And those people are bringing things that contribute to the party. Long-term party. And I would also have a conversation about how long are you staying here? Is this a waypoint on your navigation from bad to good, geographically speaking, or is this a long-term situation for you? So that's what I've got to say on the subject. Hold on. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great day. Thanks, Jerome. I subscribe to your channel. Later, bro.